Hey guys, it's Stu. This is just an in-box review of one of my latest kits I acquired. It is the Trumpeter British 155 AS-90 self-propelled Howitzer gun. Now I'm not sure, but I think these were also used in the Second Gulf War, as this actual vehicle entered service in around about 1992. And basically was designed to replace the Abbott 105 and M109 self-propelled guns. It's also been used in the war in Bosnia, and basically is also on station in Germany and is used in the former Yugoslavia as well for I4. The actual markings on this kit is indicated for the I4 version, although I'm not sure, but I think Trumpeter may well do the desert version, which is actually an enhanced version. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on with the review itself. As you can see on the side of the box, you've got some colour call-outs of the actual camouflage scheme which is used. Okay. Then turning to the other side, you've got an illustration and the kit number, which is 00324. Okay, and then there's a little history about the actual vehicle, as it apparently is one of the most advanced howitzer self-propelled guns we've got in the world, so good on us. And then you've got an overview of the colour plan and camouflage scheme, which will come in handy for when I actually paint the vehicle. Right, let's have a look and see what's inside this big box. And here we go. Upon opening it, you've actually got the plan view and colour guide, as you can see there. I think the actual colours are for Gung's Mr. Colour, so you might be able to get some reinterpretations of Humbrol colours from the app I suggested in the video some time ago. Right, first stage of the actual instructions is the actual tree of the sprues itself, and obviously you've got a map of the actual rubber tracks. Then you've got the plugs for the wheels and running gear. You've got some mesh which you can use on the kit later on in the construction, and obviously string for what is supposed to be the tow ropes. First assembly is the roller assembly. Second is that you add the rollers to the lower hull. Okay. Then it's adding the suspension arms. Okay. Now there is a second sheet with the instruction manual, so let's get to the appropriate stage. Next is the assembly of the running gear itself, as you can see here. Then you're basically supposed to add the running gear to the suspension arms, but I won't be doing that until the very final stages of the build. And then they show you how to melt the tracks together, which is very similar to Tamiya, and put the tracks on, but again I won't be doing that until the final stage of the actual build. Next is the assembly of the upper hull and side plates as well as back plates to the vehicle and attaching it to the lower hull. Then the upper hull assembly, so as you can see there, and attached to the rear fenders and rear hull. Then the upper hull assemblies again, which looks like the actual tow arm. Then the hatches, and then the turning lamps. Okay. Moving on, it's then the application of all the actual sub-assemblies to the upper hull, including the tow rope, and then more sub-assemblies on the back of the hull. Okay, and then the toolbox assembly, which you see down here. Then moving on, we go on to the assembly of the actual turret, which you can see here. Then more turret sub-assemblies, and this is where the mesh comes into operation, so you probably have to use these as a template to actually cut the mesh out and apply it to the upper part of the turret, which you see here. I myself am going to see if we can get some aftermarket etched brass sets for this. I'm sure there is a company that does them. Then more turret sub-assemblies are attached, including the cupolas and the hatches. Then the smokestacks and the machine gun, which are added to the turret. Then the main gun assemblies, which you see here, and the barrel, which comes in 2 halves. Now I am going to see if I can source a metal barrel for this, because unfortunately you get that horrible seam line. If not, I may be forced to use the one that's used on the kit. Then it's the assembly of the turret and the barrel together, more sub-assemblies, and then assemble that to the lower hull. Okay, that is basically the construction of the kit. Now we're going to have a look at the actual kit itself. First part is the lower hull. Now there's not a lot of detail on this because I think the hull itself is quite flush. Then you've got the turret, which is quite big, as you can see here. And then there's not a lot of detail because I think on the real thing it's quite flush anyway, although there is some nice surface texture on there again. So that looks really, really nice. And then you've obviously got weld seams, so that's a nice touch. And then obviously you've got the lower part of the hull. And then you've got the upper hull. Again, you've got a nice mould on the old grills. And you've got the nice surface texture as well, which is really rather nice. And those weld seams are beautiful. Can't fault Trumpeter for this, actually. They really are good. Then obviously you start to look at all the sub-assemblies. You've got the hatches, which are the cupolas, which you can see here. Really, really nice. Again, you've got the tools, beautifully crisply moulded, absolutely lovely. They should really look good, especially when you put a wash on them. Absolutely beautiful. Then you've got more sub-assemblies. This is the side fenders, which you can see here, and other parts, and then there's the main back hatch. Again, that is going to come up lovely with a wash, if I can get it to focus. There you go, and a lovely texture on it as well, beautifully made, very crisp. I really, really like the look of this. If anything, it's just as good as the actual Trumpeter Challenger 2, which I actually recently reviewed. It's absolutely gorgeous, really well made. Okay, next one is the actual mesh itself, which you use on sub-assemblies for the turret, etc. And then obviously you've got the string for the tow rope. That's optional, but I think I might get an aftermarket brass set for that. Next you've got all the running gear, and there's quite a bit of it, and then obviously the torsion arms, which you can see here. Really beautifully moulded, not 1 ounce of flash at all, and those wheels are absolutely gorgeous and will come superb with a wash. It's beautifully crisply moulded, lovely. Final sprue is obviously the main barrel itself, which you can see here, and it's quite a whopper. Apparently it can actually throw a shell at 40 kilometres, so that is pretty impressive. I wouldn't like to be on the receiving end of that. But there you go. There's all the sub-assemblies for the turret as well. Again, that's the back plate for the vehicle. Beautifully moulded, beautiful texture on there. If I can get it to focus, you can see it's gorgeous. Very impressive, and obviously you've got some of the storage parts as well, and the radiator grills look gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I have to say I'm really impressed with this. Now here are the actual rubber tracks. Again, the detail on them is superb, so I might end up actually using them, and then, I mean, yeah, you might get a nice bit of the first sag in that as well, possibly. Yeah, really, really nice. Now, I'm not going to get the decals out because I don't know what the quality of them is, but I mean, you can basically see there's not a lot of flash, they're not that thick. You've got a number of options as regards the vehicle, and then obviously you've got the unit markings as well. So that's really, really nice. I have to say, I mean, I didn't really have a proper look at this kit. I thought it's looking a bit basic, but now I've actually looked at it a bit closer. it really is quite an impressive kit, and I should imagine it's going to be quite a beast as well, alongside the old Chally 2 and Chally 1. Incidentally, I will be doing an inbox review of the Chally 1, which I've got from Tamiya today as well, but I'll probably do that and upload that tomorrow. What do I think about the kit? Upon first look at it, very impressive, I have to say. The only thing that's going to be a bit fiddly is this damn mesh. If it's anything like Tamiya's, it's going to be a nightmare. So I think, again, I might source and see if I can get some aftermarket etched brass for that, if anybody does do it. Okay, so that basically is the 155mm British AS-90 self-propelled Howitzer gun. Quite a big box, quite an impressive kit, and I should imagine that is going to look an absolute beast. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the review. I will, as I say, I will be doing one on the Chally 1, but that will be on another video tomorrow. Anyway, until then, get kit crazy, happy modelling. If you like this video, subscribe. If not, it's not a problem. All it means is enjoy the hobby. That's all I'm concerned about, and if you enjoy the videos, much the better. Anyway, until then, get kit crazy, happy modelling, and I'll see you in the next video.